Hey America, here we are one more time. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been talking about what's going on in this country, and folks, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. All because of political correctness and liberalism, folks. That's what's ruining this country. And a liar. That's the three things that are really destroying America as we see it every day being destroyed by Obama and this administration. Folks, we do have a few good politicians out there that are trying to do the right thing, that are trying to fight for this country to bring to light the lies and deceit from, let's start naming them, the IRS scandal, Benghazi, Fast and Furious, I mean, our immigration problem. There's so many things, folks. We're talking major things, guys, not little minor things like should you be able to drink a 44-ounce Coke or not. You know, let's talk about the major things that are going on in this country, folks, that this president and his administration has lied to the American people about, has deceived the American people, and everything that's been done that's this major should be a hanging offense. You know, should be treason, should be jail time, should be prison sentences for these guys, folks, and none of them's being held accountable. That's the sad thing in America right now. None of them are being held accountable for anything. When you go to be the president of the United States or to be a congressman, you put your hand on the Bible and you swear to uphold our Constitution and defend the liberty of America and the people, to defend the freedom of the people. Folks, that's what you go in there, put your hand on the Bible, and swear to do. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this ain't being done. And if you can't see that this ain't being done, the word we're going to use for you is stupid. That's the word we're going to use for stupid people. And we know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can't fix stupid. So this is what we're dealing with, America. And I'm putting this video out as a challenge. I'm challenging Christians. I'm challenging red-blooded Americans that's got a backbone to get out, speak, stand up, and let your voice be heard, holler, scream, do whatever you got to do, because the left's already going to call you a terrorist and a fearmonger and a hater and a racist. They're already calling us that. They're already calling me that, because I belong to the Tea Party, and because I have a gun, I have a CHL, I love God, I'm a Christian, and I love my family, and I love this country. So in their eyes, folks, this is what y'all don't understand and refuse to see. Liberals look at me as a worse terrorist than ISIS. Now, does that make sense to you? Doesn't make none to me, because I'm not a terrorist, folks. I'm on the side of fighting for this country, for keeping my freedom, my liberty, that kinfolk of mine have fought and died for in wars that should have been fought and shouldn't have been fought. But this is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at, and this is where you need great Americans right now to stand up and do what's right for this country, folks. Right now we got the most stupidest stuff going on in America, folks. This one I heard today. The city of Houston, Texas, folks, has put out a trying to get a law passed where they want the sermons of what's being preached in the area churches of Houston. Reason being is because the mayor is a lesbian, and she's going to put her stamp on things to recall these sermons that these preachers preach, to see if they say anything different or anything evil or bad against homosexuality or her. Folks, this is where we are. As you can tell, family, country, God, guns, liberty, freedom is all being pushed under the carpet, folks. It's all being replaced with immorality, with amnesty, with lies and deceit with homosexuality. Queers is what I call them. Everything else, folks, that's immoral and un-American to bring this country down is what's happening in this country. You have a liar, a habitual liar that got elected by fraud that's running this country, and he's turned this country, folks, into a cesspool, and that's where we're at. Honest to God. If you want to see it any different, then we're just dealing with facts here. The man even said in his own book, when the winds of ill blow, I will stand with the Muslims, folks. He's already said that. That's why you see him helping the Muslim Brotherhood over in that country. That's why all this ISIS crap that we're doing ain't stopping them, because we're not bombing nothing. All the tanks and the stuff that ISIS has taken from the Iraqi army, who laid their guns down and ran, folks, we're not bombing none of that. This is all a game, folks. You're being deceived. That's what's happening, and you're too stupid to see it. The people the 40% of the country that still stand behind this president and stand behind these liberal, worthless, un-American politicians that are taking your freedoms away, your kids' freedoms away every day, and you stand there and laugh about it and think it's a joke. Folks, it ain't a joke no more. We ain't even started talking about the stuff that's really going on in this country. You know, you got a beheading. A woman had her head cut off on our soil, folks. And there's not even no outrage about it. Nobody's even really doing anything about that. Now that's scary. That is scary right there. And what does your president do? Your president says it's workplace violence because he's taken up for the Muslims. Just like he did in my state back in 2009 when the raghead screaming out Allah Akbar bunch of BS was killing people at Fort Hood, Texas, folks. Your president called that workplace violence. That's not workplace violence, folks. That's terrorism. That's terrorism on American soil. And the liberals and even the Republicans are going along with all this. They're just putting their hands in their pockets and going, well, okay, there's bigger things to worry about. We got to worry about global warming and whether or not you can drink a 44-ounce Coke, and let's plan our next mass shooting so we can worry about getting y'all's guns. That's what they're worried about. They ain't worried about Ebola. Let's talk about that. First, let's talk about this other disease that Obama let in by not closing our Texas border right down here, and all these people are coming across. I forget how many the number is, 160,000 kids come across. But, you know, and every one of them little freaking rodents had diseases and everything else, and that's what's spread across our 47 states right now. That's killing kids, folks. It's going to kill your kid if you don't do something about it. That's the deal. There's 2 families in America that have lost their children to this Obama virus that come across our border. And yet we stand around with our hands in our pockets and nobody causes an uproar. You know, we got more people in Ferguson, Missouri worried about a little thug black kid that gets shot because he's stupid and don't want to obey the law. That's the biggest problem in America that we can't talk about, because if you talk about it, you're a racist. They don't want to talk about the real problem in America, which is little thug black kids listening to their heroes, the big rappers that talk about shooting cops and throwing money around and all that kind of stuff. That's their heroes, folks. That's what they live by. And they grow up to be just like them. We got them in all of our sports right now. Think about that. College, Jameis Winston, we got it in college. We got it in pro. They're thugs. That's what the bottom line. They just say what they are and then deal with them. But you can't do that in a political correct world that we live in. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. I ain't worried about hurting nobody's feelings. I'm worried about telling the truth. This video is nothing but facts. So let's move on to the beheading in Oklahoma, folks. Well, we call it workplace violence. There's your president standing up for the Muslims just like he said he would do. He's not on America's side. He does not care about America. He does not care about Americans. He cares about the Muslims. He cares about pushing Sharia law and the teaching of the Muslims down America's throat, because he was raised, read his book, and do your study on Barack Hussein Obama, and you'll find out he hates America. He grew up to believe that America, the United States of America, is what's wrong with the world. a free country should not be. They don't believe that. And now you got liberalism all pushed into the side, and they bring their own racial into it. Folks, that's why Ferguson, when it's done and according to their agenda, you get Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and all these people, Eric Holder, and everybody showing up at these places because it fits their agenda. Let's talk about the white baseball athlete right up here in Oklahoma that was killed by 3 black thug teenagers. Where was the outcry for that? There ain't no outcry for that, and there won't be none. It don't fit their agenda. That right there ought to tell you that something's wrong in this country. Now you got this Ebola virus, folks. This is Obama virus, is what it should be called, and they still refuse to close borders, and they refuse to stop flights from Africa, folks. Any other person with a half brain in his head would understand you have to have quarantine. You have to quarantine people just like they do when the astronauts come from out of the sky. What do they do when they hit the water? They quarantine them, but to make sure they didn't bring nothing back from space. It's common sense, which has gone out the window in this country since '08. It's been replaced by stupidity. That's what's wrong with the country. You got a retard running the country that don't care about America. And if you're too stupid to understand and look out and see what's going on and understand that America is being destroyed every day, this person, Barack Hussein Obama, is destroying America. And the liberals are standing around with their hands in their pockets, filling their pockets with money, greedy, and lying and deceiving the American people. That's what's going on in this country. And it's time for Americans to stand up and fight back and say something about it. And I'm going to. That's why I'm making this video, and I challenge everybody, if you're an American with red blood in your veins and you care about your children and what kind of world they're going to grow up in, folks, you better do something about it. You better stand up and fight. We got election in 18 days. At least go vote. The best thing you can do right now is go vote and try to put a damper on what's being done in this country, folks. If the rhino Republicans that are just about on the verge of being a Democrat, I don't understand that either, pathetic, can at least take back the Congress, then his job of getting my gun and your gun and trying to change our history books to read lies, folks, the Common Core, and to do away with your freedoms and your liberties, we might be able to put a little bit of damper on it, folks. You got to reach out and understand and open your eyes, and see what's going on, and get your head out of the sand and reply. Stand up, speak, make signs, go vote. That's the best thing you can do, is go vote. And let's try to put a damper on it, folks. Because right now, there's another mass shooting being planned. I promise you it'll happen, and it's all for gun control. There's going to be more beheadings in America. That's coming because we don't close our borders, and we're not concerned about this ISIS. They're the JV team, according to your president. He could care less about them. He don't worry about what's going on in America because he wants America destroyed, folks. It's all fitting right into his agenda. That's why nothing's being done about the Ebola. That's why nothing's being done about our borders. That's why he wants to relay the outline of the geographical design of America with all of these illegals, folks, because he knows all them Mexicans vote Democrat because they get handouts, folks. It's a big game, and it's all a plan, and that's what stupid people don't understand, and that's what it is. It's all a plan, and it's happening right before our eyes. Been happening since '08. It's been going on day by day. America loses a little bit of liberty and freedom every day under this regime, and it's wrong. And it's time for us to stand up as Americans and speak, because if we don't, we're not going to be able to. You ain't going to have the right to speak, because every one of your liberty and freedom that you have right now is on the table, being questioned. They're trying to do away with freedom of speech. They're going to do away with every amendment of that Constitution that they can do away with. That's what their whole goal. Every one of them liberal Democrats, Harry Reid, John Kerry, Nancy Pelosi, every one of them, that's their goal, that's their agenda, folks. Wake up and see it, folks. We have a crooked cesspool in Washington, D.C. is what we have. And they're destroying America as we knew it. The childhood that we had, your kids ain't gonna have it. That's plain facts. It's gone. So here's my speak out to y'all. Do something. Get out. Vote. Till then.